So how did we come up with the name Sub-Zero ice cream? So it was really a factor of when we came up with the concept or the idea, we wrote down a whole bunch of names and we started surveying people. We said, what do you think? So the Sub-Zero is the one that came to the top of the list. So as we're asking people, I'm doing follow-up questions. I'm saying, well, why would you, what brought it to the top of the list? And the first thing that people would say, well, it sounds familiar. Now, it would depend on the age group of why people thought it was familiar. If it was younger crowds, it was because of the Sub-Zero character in Mortal Kombat. If they're older, it was because of the refrigerator. But one way or another, they said, I really can't put my finger on it. It just sounds familiar. It sounds like something that has already existed. And I was like, okay, well, that's a positive thing. Now, when New York Burrito had their naming, I love the food, but but we thought we were buying in when things were going up. There was about 25 stores nationwide. I thought they were going up. What I learned later is the information that I read. It wasn't that outdated, but it was outdated enough that it wasn't accurate. So they went up to 100 stores, but within about a year and a half, they collapsed down to about 25 stores. We were actually the last store in Utah to be open, and I only know of one store now that I think is open up in Rexburg, Idaho. But the point of the matter is, what was the problem with New York Burrito? And the real big problem they had is they didn't have a lot of good structure, behind them. They had a great manual, but the name was a problem. When you'd ask people what's New York Burrito, people didn't know what it was. And so you'd say, all right, well, because New York's not known for burritos. In fact, the last time I went to New York, I'd go see the stands on the road and I think, oh, great, I want a taco. And they're not tacos, they're gyros or gyros, whatever. They're Greek food or Middle Eastern food. And so there aren't any taco stands or like we have out in the West. And there aren't burrito stores to speak of. So why do they call it New York Burrito? It started in Arizona. So it was because, and they were trying to have an oxymoron on their website originally. It actually said this, that it's an oxymoron. It was like they said New York means deli and burrito means wraps. Well, they should have called it deli style wraps. Point of the matter is, you got to tell people what you are right up front and don't try and be cute about it. If people have to figure out what you are, you've lost them. So we could have been, more descriptive and had something like Cryo Creamery, and we actually did that for a long time, or for the first year or so. What we found is by using a name like Cryo Creamery, people would go and they'd say Sub-Zero Cryo Creamery, and they'd go, oh, I don't know what cryo is, and I'd go, but you know what creamery is? A creamery is an ice cream shop, and they go, yeah, and they just wouldn't put two and two together, and so I was all right. That name's not going to work. You got to tell people what it is. It's Sub-Zero. It's ice cream. So it's cold ice cream. That's it. So it was and it really came down to testing. We just tested a variety of different names, and that's the one that came to the top.